Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back. This is the bonus of building a cabin under an apple tree. Well, it's one of the drawbacks too. You get hit in the head with an apple, but then it gives you a lunch. A couple things we're going to deal with today. One is there was an important thing that came up in one of the comments, was that the cabin is sitting on basically a tarp and there's no airflow underneath it. Now, I thought about it when I did it, and I thought, that's important. We want airflow underneath this thing, or this wire spool is going to rot. So what I'm going to do is actually lift it up and slide some sacrificial pressure treated wood underneath it in order to have airflow. Because what's happening right now is it's kind of stuck between a impermeable layer, so the water gets down underneath and then it's going to rot the wood. So it's a quick fix. A couple 20-ton jacks, lift this thing up, slide it underneath, and Bob's your uncle, and this thing will be protected from the moisture from below, because, well, everything rots. This is a surprisingly good apple. Nature giveth. If you guys are just joining me on this epic build project, the last episode we actually ended up starting this build. We took an old spool that we had laying around and we turned it into an epic cabin. So we took the spool, we rolled it into place, we added some structure to the top of it using 2x4s. Once we built that up, we clad the outside of it with fresh sawn poplar, and then we ended up putting the roof on with some pine shakes. We worked our way up to the top. We added ourselves a cone to do the finishing touches, and that's pretty much as far as we got in the last episode. So we got some big plans for today. We're going to pretty much button up the outside of this project today. So let's get started. Well, I figure we can work this thing together. It's kind of my first time making a thing that's going to make a spiral staircase that's going to go down with circles. So it's I'm kind of working my way through it as I go. I don't really have an official, well, I kind of have an official plan rattling around in my head. The plan is to actually start from the top and work my way down. Traditionally, you wouldn't do that with stairs. You'd work your way from the bottom up the top, or you'd make yourself stringers. So the idea behind this thing is to kind of like, so I made my platform. It's got some posts. It's going to hold it. It's screwed from below. And the idea is to work my way around this way. Where can I do that? Right there, over here, and work my way down with more of the top of the spindles, and then kind of, yeah. But like I said, work my way from the top down, which is kind of difficult, but I just keep adding posts that support my platforms, and then carry on. I think that's the way to do it. I don't know. Let's, you know what? You haven't done it, you might as well just find out. Fail quickly and move on. Right, you go up the stairs. Up the stairs. Come on. Come on. Come on, Frankie. Come on, up the stairs. Over here, Frankie, look it. Look it. Look it. Come on. There you go. Inside. What do you think? See? Hi. Well, we certainly had our ups and downs on this thing. The stairs actually turned out better than I thought they were going to do. I actually ended up filling in all the way around the base with 6-inch blocks. That gives me a 7¼ inch rise on the tread. That actually worked out really, really well. So as you can see, got a nice comfortable foot space all the way up. And then all I got to do now is put my little railing on. It'll be all set, nice and safe, and then I can come in here. I can work in here. Get my door. It's gonna be awesome. Pretty cool. Well, I'm gonna bring you guys up to speed on what was happening while we were gone. So I had Futures Insulation come out and insulate the rocket house. They took some 2-pound spray foam and added about 3 inches of insulation in all of the walls, and they also added about 4 inches of insulation in the ceiling. And what I like about spray foam insulation, especially with a cabin kind of like this, is it kind of consolidates everything. It holds everything in place really, really well. The great thing about spray foam is that you could essentially build a cabin out of cardboard and spray foam with 2-pound insulation, and you could walk on it, you could roll it around. It's pretty great stuff. And if I was building a new home, I wouldn't even hesitate to spray foam it. That being said, you probably want an air exchanger in your home in order to maintain freshness if you're going to seal it up that tight. But in a case like this, where you've got a lot of studs and you know, kind of thinking outside the box on the building construction, spray foam really stiffens up your building envelope and makes it a really comfy place to live. It's cool tool time again. Every once in a while, companies reach out to me and say, hey Kevin, you want to try something new and exciting? And I generally say yes, because I like free stuff. You guys should like free stuff too. It doesn't mean I'm a corporate chill. It just means I like neat stuff. So I'm just going to show it to you guys. This is the KebTech 5-inch battery-powered pruner. I'm using it for cutting detailed small stuff. As you can see, it's got the little button. It's got all the safety things you would think of, which is the safety thing so you don't hit the top of it. It's got you know, removable batteries so you can charge them up. It comes with 2 of them, and yeah, it's a pretty neat little gadget. If you guys need a little chainsaw, 5-inch chainsaw, but it costs actually 4.5. But if you want to check one of these guys out, the link will be in the description below. It's a KebTech battery-powered electric chainsaw. It's pretty cool. It's the cool tool. Well, it appears as though it is raining today, so I'm not going to be able to work outside because I am made of sugar. Actually, I want to go back to the shop and work on my spindles on my railing. I am getting a tenon jig that's going to cut the my posts that I collected earlier and make the handrail. So that's what we're going to do. But first, we're actually going to take a look inside to ensure that there's no water leaking through. I haven't had a chance to really have a good look to see if the roof is holding up, to see if my job did well. And yeah, let's check it out and see. Easiest place is to kind of see on the ground to see if anything's accumulating, or if it's running down the walls or anything like that. Just to inspect. I don't think I'm going to see anything, but it's always good to kind of have a look. Have a look and see. You can kind of get a good look at the spray foam. The idea behind this stuff is actually, I'm going to shave it down. You guys probably can't see very much, it's very dark in here. But to shave this down to give myself a really nice surface on the underside of the cone. So I got to shave this thing down. I haven't really come up with a plan. That'll be for another day. Maybe you guys got some ideas on how to finish this thing. I had some actually pretty good ideas last time in the comments on how to finish the inside of this thing. So you can see I scraped it down there, and that's the stud. So what the plan is to do is to make that whole surface one continuous flat surface and make it really, really pretty. Yeah, it doesn't appear there's any water accumulating or running down, so we pretty much got our roof buttoned up. All right, it's shop time. I'm in the shop because it's raining, and I like to do indoor projects when it's raining. My project, what I was saying before, was to make these things. Now this is one I successfully made, and it's a tenon on the end of a cedar chunk. It's about 2 inches in diameter, and it makes an 1 3/8 tenon, and that's going to be able to plug into the deck area in order to make my railing for that. So I got this thing, which looks like a giant pencil sharpener, and it's got like a razor blade that sits in this thing and cuts it. So I successfully cut one, and then I had some little bit of difficulty with it, and then ended up getting to this point, and I couldn't cut anymore for whatever reason. So what I think actually occurred is that when they made it, they actually added too much paint to the surface of it, so the tolerance wasn't there. So what I have actually done is taken my razor blade and actually shaved off all the paint there, because I think that's as little kind of tolerance as that is, because this is a pencil sharpener. You don't want it to eat too much wood, but I think because of the paint there on both sides, it actually puts these little razor blades, these little cutters, they sit here, and I believe, I haven't tried it out yet, I've just scraping them. I believe what happens is if the paint, you can see that, the paint
sits the blade too far out, not allowing it to cut enough material off of the tenon. So once the paint's gone, the actual blade will sit closer to the cutting surface and actually make it work a little bit better, because the blades are like brand new. Like I said, it worked once and then it didn't decide to cut. So, because you know, you should have to do that with a brand new tool. Modify it slightly. So there, I got the old straight razor, and I'm just basically scratching it off. On the outside it doesn't matter so much, but right where the mating surface of that razor blade and the tool don't want to have a space. So I'm pretty much down to the tooling mark, so that'll allow that hurts my brain. That works beautifully now. Look at that.
All right, so I have a little competition here. Let's see how long it takes me to do all my spindles and how many I have. I didn't really count how many I had, but put your guesses down below how long it actually takes to make all of these pieces of wood into usable spindles using this new really cool tenon jig. Okay, time lapse. Time lapse start. Start time lapse.
Well, that's a different tool. With the paint removed, it worked really well and really fast. So if you got an idea how long that took in real time, put it down in the comments below. But yeah, that like if you see those pieces they make out of furniture, or they make furniture out of these things, like those little Adirondack chairs and stuff like that. That's kind of what they're doing, which is kind of cool. It takes an ununiform stick and makes it into a really useful building material with a tenon on it. And I recommend this guy. Get yourself a little bench vise to clamp it in, because pencil sharpening a giant stick isn't the easiest thing to do. So this guy was from Princess Auto. It's a 8-inch bench vise. So just clamp it in there, and away you go. Just when you're using this thing to ensure that this thing is kind of straight with the log, this little shank here, and then you get a pretty uniform tenon on the log itself. And if you want a crooked one, you just angle it which way you want it. But yeah, this thing works really well. Well, we're inside. Because it's still kind of dripping, I want it to dry up a little bit. I got my power packs all set up. I've got almost nearly, whoa, it's bright. I got nearly every tool I own crammed in this little 8-foot space. As you can see, it looks like I'm in a giant marshmallow because I got spray foam everywhere. It's got really cool acoustics in here because it's round. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's round. So here's the plan. The plan is to make the door while it's still kind of dripping outside. I'm going to, I'll try to kind of frame it out and then put the frame in, but it's got to be a curved header, so that's going to be interesting to do. I've never done one of those before, and then it's going to open out where you guys are sitting. That is the plan. So first of all, I got to make a template. I've got some cardboard here to make a template, so that's what I'm going to do, and then cut my side pieces, and Bob's your uncle. Should be that easy, right? Make a curved door? No problem. No problem at all. All right, I got the curved piece cut for the top of the door. As you can see, that's going to kind of be the template for the door. Just make sure it fits. It's right above you. Kind of close proximity. There we go. Looks like it fits pretty darn good. Actually, I had it upside down.
Fits pretty good upside down. Fits good. All right. There you have it, door jamb. As long as we can get it in the space. I don't know if I can get it in the space. What do you mean I'm trying to fix a camera angle? Rachel just stopped by. Say hello, Rachel. See? Say hello, Rachel. Can you see?
Hello, Rachel.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she knows about the swearing in the woods with Kevin because there's a lot of it. I'm trying to find the proper camera angle. What do you guys feel about this one? Is this a good one? From above, Rachel, what do you think of this one? You think that one's good?
Sure.
Sure, I can see everything.
I absolutely fell on my foot.
It was a piece of wood.
Perfect.
Wood. All right, so we're gonna build a door now to keep the riffraff out. That's you. Yeah, but I have to pick a camera angle first. And I think this is a good one. You guys can watch the whole process.
It feels like I want to look at the camera though now.
Doesn't it?
Because it looks funny.
It does, doesn't it? It looks funny. It feels like it's that's where the loft would be, right up there. It does look very strange. Anyway, it's good. It's good. It's a good angle. It's a good angle for me, I think. Hello. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna get set up, make a door. You guys can watch. You guys can help. Shout at your screen instructions. Rachel says bye. You guys gonna be here for the long haul. You guys get to watch the whole thing. Probably time lapse is gonna take 9 seconds or something like that. All right, so what I gotta do, I don't need that. Cardboard. This is the template. It's going to give me what the top and bottom thing. Probably gonna cut it out of this material, make it nice and beefy. Get that out of the road. Design as I go. That's actually a nice piece. I don't want to use that piece. Okay, all right, this thing, clear up my spot. Well, we've got to the point now where we can start putting cladding on this door. I just got to put some stops in here to actually hold the glass. I'm pretty pleased the way it turned out so far. So the idea behind this thing is that you kind of got like a 3/4, 1/4. So the bottom is over here, which is going to hold something, looks like visually weighted. And then the glass will be up here, which as you can see, it's pretty much framed out. So I'm just gonna work on this side a little bit, and then this side. I haven't quite figured out my exact design yet, but it's gonna be something neat, I'm sure. Maybe some cookies down there, that kind of look neat. I don't know, we'll see. Put some stuff, kind of work at it as we go. Well, the concept I came up with to build this door was essentially to maintain the curviness of the building. So what I ended up doing was taking a couple of really wide planks, I think it was like 2x12, and I first made a profile, sort of a template of the actual curve, and then I traced it out on the 2x12 in order to get my curve. And then once I had those kind of set up, I took some 2x4s, laid them out sort of parallel to each other, and then screwed the top and bottom plate of the door in. And then once I had that kind of laid out, I kind of decided to, divide it into like 1/4 in order to kind of give it balance. So I ended up having to cut a couple more of the cross pieces out of some more 2x12 material to maintain my curve. Once those were
kind of set in place. I added a couple of nailing edges to the bottom half of the door in order to add some 3/8 plywood, and later on that actually plywood would become sort of a nailing edge for something I hadn't had in mind yet. Once that was done, I framed out a window, because I happen to have a window. It's a thermal pane window. I think the other side of that thermal pane window was a fogged, so I just had one random size window. It seemed to be the right size, so I ended up framing that thing out and making sure it was fitted properly before I moved on to the cladding of the actual door. So the actual door's cladding is made out of poplar wood, and it's the same sort of material as the outside of the building. I kind of ran it the opposite way to give it a little bit of a differential style, because you kind of want to be able to find the door and not just hiding in the middle of a wall. And once that was all completed, I ended up taking a bunch of cedar cookies, which were cut to about 1 inch thick. I started gluing them. That didn't seem to really work, and I was running out of glue really fast. So I happened to have a tub of ceramic tile adhesive laying around. So what I did was actually laid those cookies like ceramic tiles, kind of buttering the back of them and squishing them in place. Halfway through, I realized I didn't have enough cookies, so I actually made some more and then just carried on buttering them. And then the good thing about that type of glue for ceramic tile is that you can kind of reposition stuff for a little bit of time. I guess regular glue would have done that as well, but it turned out okay. And then once that was kind of all set up and I was pleased with the way the wood was actually positioned, I ended up putting a couple of brad nails in each of the cookies in order to maintain their space. And once that was done, I ended up flipping the door around and putting my stops in and installing the glass to basically complete my door. All that's left is some sanding and hanging the door. Well, how's that for a door fit for a castle? It's got a thermal pane in there. Just got to be cleaned up a little bit, but I really like the way that fit. I ended up putting another stop there in order to hold it in place. Actually, you could see the little weather stripping, that little fuzzy stuff, and I didn't like it, so that's what I did. The other thing was I was going to leave a live edge here, but I didn't think it really suited the look of it, but I'm really pleased the way this looked. I'm going to let this thing dry. The wood was sitting outside, so it's got a little bit of surface moisture on it, but what I'm going to do after that is sand everything out nice and smooth. And what I'm planning on doing here, once this is dry, is to put some spray adhesive on the entire thing and then sprinkle some sand in behind here, and that will give sort of a like a color differential. It'll kind of give it like a gritty texture in here, not like mortar, but just enough to change the color in between, because you can still see some mastic there. I guess I could impregnate it into the mastic, but I don't really want to play with it right now. I'm just gonna let it dry, everything dry, and then I can kind of smooth it out. I'm really happy the way this thing turned out. It looks pretty cool. From the front, you really can't see how much of it bends, but you can see the arch all the way around, and you can see the way the whole arch of the door. So, well, hopefully it fits. Oh my, that's a lot of sanding. I just realized, I thought I didn't actually click the button to turn the camera on, and because so much sawdust accumulated on the back of the camera and the thing turned off. But you indeed get to see all that. You guys could see how well that turned out. It's got a little bit of a dust. I just got a dusting on it. I just got to cut in my hinges and then hang my door. This has been a heck of a haul to build this door. I think going on like probably like 6-7 hours of straight build time. Oh, it's cool looking though. I just want to hang it now. Yeah, so I got these beefy hinges. They've got the little ball bearings in there, so it should work well. I just picked this up from a commercial job at some point. And yeah, so they're really beefy. I'm gonna put 2 hinges on this thing. The thing with this door is actually gonna swing out, because I don't want it to actually take up any space in the inside. Also, the geometry of the thing only allows it to kind of swing out because of the way the kind of latch works. Like if you think about it, you gotta like kind of close inside the opening. So if it pivoted in, it wouldn't actually work because it wouldn't pass the jamb.
So yeah, this is, like I said, the first time I've done a curvy door. So let's see if it actually fits. The anticipation is killing me. All right, this is one of my useful tips that well, let's call it a trade secret. What I do if I'm mortising hinges into the edge of a door is I take my plunge router. It's all dust. So I take my plunge router, and so this is the little stop. I don't know if you guys, you have a router, or if you're new to routers, it's got this little stop. So what I do is I let that thing free flow there, and I take my router, and I push it all the way down to the surface of my material. And that allows me to determine where flat is. So if I was to take my router and route, I wouldn't take any material off. What I do then is I take my hinge. So all hinges thicknesses are different. This one happens to be probably like 3/16 of an inch thick. So what I do is I take my hinge and I put it on my stop. Can you guys see that? We'll just zoom in there. Take a look at this bottom corner. Actually, maybe I can show it to you. There you go. Zoom right in. There. Okay, so you take your little stop and you take your hinge and you put it in there, and what you do is you tighten this thing down. And what that allows, that actually sets the gap on how big your hinge is, so you don't plunge or route your hinge too deep in your door. And then what you do, so make sure that's tight, and then you take your plunge router, and I like to shove it right down. So that now set that depth. So if you look there, can you see that? You can see there, right there, it's only got a little bit protruding, and when you route your hinge, you'll have the perfect depth. So your hinge won't be too far in the door, both on your door and on your jamb. A lot of people will go out and buy pre-hung doors because they're scared of the hinging process. I'm just here to tell you it gets better the more you do. All right, second tip. Whoa, tips are coming at you left, right, and center. Better write these down. This, I like to score the edge of where my hinge is gonna go so you don't have any tear out on the door. This door, well, it's a 2x4, so it's not really, it's not fine carpentry. We ain't building pianos here. So like I do, like to score the edge with just with an X-Acto knife or a Tajima or an Olfa. So there, we got both sides of this thing scored. And that'll help the router somehow. Doesn't, there. So we got that done. The third tip I'm gonna tell you is when you're doing your router, wear earmuffs. When you're not worried about the damage your hearing is gonna cause by that screaming router, you tend to take your time and not run off with the router and screw your door up. So, yeah, let's see if this works well. Get our hinges on. All right, well, the plan is to put the handrail, but I want you guys to look at this thing first. This is a brand new Forstner bit that comes with this little tenon jig. And I want you to look at it because this is the last time it's going to look like this. I'm a pretty lucky guy, but I'm not lucky enough not to hit a nail in this end of this hose or this wire spool. I'm gonna destroy this thing. I don't really want to. It's a really, really nice Forstner bit. It seems to be very sharp. But anyways, so this is the idea. This is the idea. So this is the end of the spindle, and I'm going to try to drill it in like this. Can you see this? And I'm just only want to drill into the first layer just to give it kind of like about an inch worth of material to hold on to, and have it evenly spaced all the way around. Offer some sort of protection from falling off the balcony. Also, I think it'll look pretty cool. This one is this is a cedar post. So this will probably outlive us all, this cedar post here. So let's see if we can find some nails with my brand new Forstner bit. Well, it took exactly 1.5 holes. Oh well, let's just send it. there's got to be an easier way to do this. This is a 2-inch pipe. Hello in there. It's already got the round to it, so I'm going to use it. And if I don't like the black, I can always paint it at some point. But it's an unruly pipe. It's a very unruly pipe. So what I've done is I've screwed a block to the edge of the cabin, and I'm going to fit it inside the pipe. I'm going to screw that thing in, and see if I can make it go around. Wish me luck. Well, that was easier said than done. I got the handrail in. It ended up having to actually screw it off to the building in order to hold it somewhere secure, and then screw off each individual spindle in order to actually hold it in place. And then once I got to the other side, I ended up having to add a washer to my screws in order to kind of suck it in at the base. And what that did with the last spindle is it actually secured it so it wouldn't actually flop over and well, tip over, so it actually held it because it was at the end of my curve. I guess all that's left to do is go grab my Adirondack chair from Cabela's Bass Pro Shops, put it on my deck, and enjoy the afternoon. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and join me in the next one.